me and Scott Rogers.
Okay.
We're going into our 11th season. We had a captain that had just retired. He was on 28 years before retiring. And then Scott's older brother, Mike, has been with us for 9. We're usually a crew of 5, so I've got a little bit of time, but I'm going to have to build my crew back up.
Right.
But, yeah, we're all Jacket alumni,
Right.
football alumni. We love football, and we have a blast over there.
So you guys, the chain gang, right?
The chain gang.
Is that the okay term to use? Or
Sure, yeah.
What's the official term?
Chain crew, chain gang.
Chain crew, chain gang.
Yeah.
So tell me a little, give me that Friday Night Lights moment when it's kickoff. Like, how does that work?
Well, our day starts early.
Okay.
Them guys, I kind of started a thing 2 or 3 years ago with sharing on our private group chat Dalton's videos.
Okay.
And if I'm not posting the Dalton's video on the group chat by about noon, one of them guys are on me because that just kind of gets us fired up. We get there as soon as the gates open and 1 or 2 of us are there. We drag everything out, and it's a whole other atmosphere on that side of the field, really. People don't realize it, but we see the good, the bad, the ugly of the other teams. But more importantly, when you stand on the front row of that other side of that field and you see the entire stadium full with the lights on and the players running out of the tunnel, we're front row.
Right.
We're the best seat in the house. And for 3 guys that love football, it's pretty exciting. We get bummed when we lose. We get excited when we win, but we cannot broadcast that over there.
Right.
You don't want a Webb City's coach or a Lakers coach mad because you're cheering because Jax Glendenning made a 90-yard touchdown run. Right. So that's the downside to it. It's real rough to hear the bad because, every team has dirty laundry, and we're right there with that dirty laundry, and we can't say anything about it.
Right.
And when you bleed black and gold like us guys do, it gets tough at times.
So you guys mentioned you've got 11 years. Another guy has 9.
2 of us with 11. One of us had 9. Our chief that just retired, he was 28. We had a couple of guys before that when I first started that were on their 16, 17 year.
You guys are there every Friday night.
We're there every single home game.
Right.
So start a season, we're there 2 nights a week. Junior high kicks in, we're 3 nights a week. We're there through the rain, the heat, the snow. You've got to love football to be a part of that. But it's what we do and it's what we love.
Right. What is it? What's the change in the programs, or more importantly, maybe from a perspective that you guys go through? Like, what have you seen change as far as the players and the athletes? Because it's a different world than when you and I played.
Oh, yeah. Much different world. I mean, when we played ball, you get there on a Friday night, 90% of the stands was kids.
Right.
And now the kids are running around because there's no seats.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's packed. It's almost like going from a Pee Wee football to an NFL atmosphere.
Right.
Compared to when we played.
Right. So what's it been like? What's the change been like since when you started specifically on the chain crew or the chain gang to now, and kind of seeing the growth of our program, seeing the growth of attendance, the community support? Kind of tell us.
I mean, this Jacket Nation thing is really where we've really seen the big change. You get the drones flying in, you get the video board running, you get people hyped up, the videos before the game.
Right.
I mean, that to me, from what I've seen, it excels the hype for the fans. Right. You get there on a Monday night, and it's just like the same old used to be Friday night football.
Right.
Or you get there on a Thursday night in junior high, and unless there's a big play, parents are visiting. I mean, you've got people up on a Friday night hooting and hollering before kickoff ever starts.
Right.
It's a whole different deal.
They're, like the kids say, locked in.
Yeah.
I know for us, as we continue to grow this, and Friday nights at Yellow Jacket Stadium are basically it's our show as far as like that's when we put it all together, all the hard work and all the different things. We've been very fortunate to have community business leaders and businesses and all of that to help make this all possible. But getting to see what goes in at that when the gates open and seeing the kids come in for the student section. Last year we did the pizza night. So like, what's the other team like? What, go on that more. Like what do you see from the other team?
Well, you see, the kids are just kids, you know. Right. They're mouthing, I can do this, I can do that. But where you really see a difference is coaching.
Right.
A few years ago, we had, I won't point out any names, but we had some coaches that were coaching at one of our visiting teams, and they were absolutely ridiculous.
Really?
And I can tell you, it's one of those things, we're an extension of the referees. So before the game, we're over there, the refs come over, they give their spiel, they talk to us. You see the coaches react, or the refs react to certain coaches.
Mm-hmm.
And then we, like I said, we see the bad. And,
right.
and you hear stuff, you see stuff, but then you see the great. I will tell you right now, Glendale's coach that they have now, he is going to absolutely turn that program around because he's good with kids. Right. He's not just out there to coach one or two kids. He's out there to coach the whole squad. Mm-hmm. And it is amazing the turnaround that Glendale's going to have.
Right. What is that like? Let's dive into that a little bit deeper because I want people to understand the things that are happening with young adults and these kids. And I think from a fan standpoint, like we see between the lines, you know, we see touchdowns or fumbles or interceptions or bad play calls, but like uniquely from your perspective, like you mentioned it, you're seeing men lead boys and men and do things differently. So like, how kind of give me a specific example of like an impact that you saw, maybe not specifically who, but just something you've seen on the sidelines and
we had a quarter district game, I think 2 years ago or 3 years ago against Carthage, and they had a stud, mm-hmm. and everybody knew it. And I think it was the Bartell boy and the Ivy boy, they rattled him.
Right.
And he come off the sidelines, and he was dizzy, and he was throwing up, and we knew he was concussed, and the refs knew he was concussed. And we got to talking about it, and then the ref went over, and then after halftime, he come back, and he was so dejected because he couldn't play.
Right.
And it was right there at the end of the season. He was running the team before halftime. And the way the coaches picked him back up because he was mad and upset because he was a senior. We're right there at the end. It was a big game. And just the impact you see with the positives and the negatives. I've seen some extreme negatives over there.
Right.
But just the way those coaches react to those kids when they're worked up. And I've seen it to where the coaches act in a negative way and have the whole sidelines worked up over there. And you see that as a negative because them boys, they're there to play a sport. And when you have coaches that are positive, you can see the positive impact on the players by how they carry themselves over there. As to where if you have some coaches that are bad, you're given a negative impact because you're teaching those kids to do stuff and say stuff that shouldn't be said and done.
Right.
They kind of feed off their coaches. It's a mentor deal.
How I'm sure, you know, we talk about home cooking or home referees or that, you know what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm sure some coaches get a little animated at decisions made by referees, right?
At times, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, the referees, and unless you've ever umpired or refereed or anything, you don't understand the aspect of that.
Right.
They are the ones that take it on the back the whole time.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to do it.
I've done it in baseball, and
It's
it's something else.
the stress and the experiences, and I can't fathom it. What I'm always curious about from your point of view, or the game is changing, it's faster, the equipment is changing, the players are different positions, but it's still a 10-yard chain.
It's still a 10-yard chain.
Like,
and we catch some flack between ourselves about that, because when you have Jax Glendennings, you have John Berries, you have Elza Evans, that's where the athleticism on our sport or part comes into it, because when you got a player that gets us off a 90-yard touchdown, that ref's not going to call the box guy down there until he's throwing his hands up. So we're sprinting 80, 90 yards sometimes just to turn around and a kickoff return run back the other way.
Right.
And you have to do it all over again. So we kind of rib each other a little bit about who's going to run the box when we know this is going to be a high-scoring game.
right.
And we rib the refs. I mean, there's Jason Riddick, there's Dana, Gene Mulholland. We're out there the whole time. We're trying to keep them guys in a good mood.
Right.
And joke with them and carry on in between plays. And
Because they're dealing with it.
they're dealing with it.
They're dealing with players. They're dealing with coaches. They're dealing with rules and regulations, and then they're dealing with the crowd. You know, their head has to be on a swivel at all times. You guys, same way. I mean, you got to be locked into the game,
And we've never had a serious injury, but Scott one time, he was we had a play that ran down the sidelines, and we're watching the ball, and it was one of those blindside deals where there was two linemen that weren't going to stop till the whistle.
right.
And he's looking down, and I turned around and looked, and he's laying flat on the track. They absolutely laid him out, and he flew like Superman backwards because we were watching the ball.
Right.
So it's kind of risky. There's times when we have to bail out of the way and stuff.
The other thing, and I want to specifically touch on this, but you guys have made a bit of an upgrade this year, right? I think I saw a message or something. Did you guys get a digital?
There will be a digital box. We're trying to secure sponsorship, but if not, the box will be there week one.
Right.
We go, like I said, we're two of the three of us are at every game, whether it's home or away. And we're kind of envious of some of them schools that's got that digital box.
Right.
And with funding, you know, everything's strapped tight with uniforms and stuff like that. And we just decided, you know, if we can't find sponsorship, we're just going to pitch in and we're going to buy one.
Right. What's something like that cost?
$300 to $800.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that's probably the only real upgradable piece of equipment. I would.
Yeah,
think.
I mean,
you could have
Coach
backup
Christian
chains.
every couple of years he'll throw in a new set of chains because they get bent.
Right.
And our box, it's good, but it's not to our standards. You know,
Right.
we get a lot of compliments on. We all dress alike.
Right.
On weeknights, we wear T-shirts that all match. Jacket Nation's on our Monday night shirt. We have Chain Crew on our Thursday night shirt, and then on Friday nights, we dress up. We wear the same pants as the refs. We have black polos. We have referee hats. Right. We get a lot of compliments. We get a lot of compliments of our professionalism.
Right.
And that was a spearhead of our previous captain, Jeff. He wanted to distinguish us on a Friday night from fans. Right. He wanted us to blend in with the refs. And, I mean, we've had at least once a year, sometimes several times a year, teams trying to get us to come to their field on away games to do the chains.
Really?
So that's something we really take pride in.
Is that something you guys are considering? Or
no. I mean,
you guys are fans.
I mean, we would do it, but we're all about jacket football.
Right.
So, like I said, two of us, me for sure, I miss maybe one game a year for a hunting trip, but right. I am there even all the way. If they go all the way to the finals at Mizzou, I'm going to be there. So that's the jacket pride in me.
So let's talk about that, because you're there doing a job, but you're a fan. So how do you balance it? Because I know we deal with it the same. If we're up in the booth changing cameras, doing the stuff, like, but we're also fans and we start to watch it and it's hard. And I look at it like from a fan's point of view, give me like one of your most memorable jacket moments or things that stick out from doing your job.
I don't know. I mean, it's an all around thing. I mean, we get excited even for a 90-yard run, but it's the hardest thing in the world to sit there and hold it in. Because if you see me at a away game, I'm on it. I'm loud, I'm screaming, but we can't do that.
Right.
So we'll get down to the end and we'll talk about it and be excited about it. But it's probably one of the hardest things of the job is to keep yourself quiet and calm.
Right. So with that being said, though, what's the forecast? What's the outlook? How long you want to do this? Till you can't anymore?
We're pretty much in it for the long haul till we can't do it anymore.
Right.
I'm fortunate enough that I'm in my 40s, so I've got a few years left of it. Mike and Scott, they're in their 60s.
Right.
But I mean, them guys, I couldn't do it without them. I really couldn't. Scott has come in hurt, sick. I mean, they're just that passionate about it.
About doing it. Mm-hmm. Well, it's something I don't think, you're not needed till you're needed, or at least it feels maybe like that, or no one's paying attention to you till they have to pay attention to you, right?
And it's one of them things. I mean, the hard part of it too is dependability.
Right.
I can count every night on them two guys being there.
Right.
Without a doubt. There's been games where we had a district game, or it was a sectional game because it was on a Saturday. We had to go pull Gene Mulholland out on his day off because we were shorthanded.
Right.
And the game don't start without us.
Mm-hmm.
So you get some pressure in on it with that, but the biggest draw set is you can see things, you can hear things that nobody in the stands gets to see. You get to experience football in the best seat of the house.
Right. I bet, and like you said, like you can be the biggest fan in the world, but every other Friday night when you travel down the road to Camdenton or to Nixa or wherever we go, that seat's not quite as good.
It's not. I try to work myself as high as I can up on there because it's not good enough. Right. I have to get as high as I can so I can see everything.
And you get from the field level too, like you really do get to see it all.
You do.
And you get to hear it all. You've talked about that. What are you looking forward to most about the 2025 season?
Honestly, I'm hoping to see more of both of them Simmons boys, because that's another thing we get to see on the sidelines is we get to see them from 7th grade till they're seniors.
Right.
And I'm telling you, Malachi Simmons and his brother, they're going to be forces to be reckoned with. You can see it at a lower age.
Right. That's got to be cool. I never thought of that. Like, and we're seeing it more or getting more in tune with the programs and the youth and all the sports, basketball, football, you name it, baseball. But seeing that progression, seeing those kids, because I remember what it was like to play. I still remember a time, and if he's watching this, I might have said it in other interviews, but I'll say it again. 7th grade, Mark Fisher was a referee. So this would have been 97. 97? Was it? Is that 7th grade? Yeah. Okay, so 97.
It'd been 96 for you.
Okay.
Because you were a year above me.
So we had, I think we were playing Waynesville, and it's like a sweep play, and I was never the fastest kid, but I made a play, and I remember running to the sideline, and the running back stood up, and the ball was kind of out, chicken winged it a little bit. And as soon as I stripped the ball, Mark Fisher blew the whistle, but I was headed the other way. I was going to get my chance to be a big kid scoring a touchdown, a lineman.
And you never forget stuff like that.
And I remember just the whistle blowing, stop. He was down. And I turned around and to this day, like, I still don't think he was down. I think he got stood up, and I came in and stripped the ball. But those sort of moments and memories, and seeing, as a seventh grader, you watch and you see your eighth and ninth graders and your sophomores and juniors and seniors. You see those varsity kids, and you see what you want to be, and so seeing it as long as you have every year. And you mentioned the Simmons boys, and you saw it with the Jax Glendenning, and you saw it with
and that's we had two pretty past few years standout running backs. We had Jax, and in my opinion, and my guys' opinions, we've talked about it. There's pretty an unsung kid in Nathan Bartell.
Yeah.
And we didn't get to see the Jackson, the Nathan, because they were Jolie Barber kids.
Right.
So we had to watch them from freshmen on up. But some of them kids, the Antonio Rogers, I coached that kid in baseball. We watched him from 7th grade to his senior year. Right. And it was something to watch the change in ability.
Right. Does it make you want to play again?
Oh, man. They talked something about some kind of a arena ball here at Civic Center a few years ago.
Yeah.
And I was like, I may be old, but I'm going to go try it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember the days of you highlighted a play that you had. I played with the Brandon Shoemakers, the Brandon Jacksons, the Nolan Plagues, the Daniel Gibsons. And me and Daniel, we were a force to be reckoned with from probably 7th grade to freshman year. And I remember one time we were both playing linebacker, and he said, go get it. And I was fast. And he opened the hole for me, and I got through fast enough on the goal line that they handed me the ball going the other way.
Oh, nice.
And I ran 99 yards for a touchdown, and that's a moment you'll never forget.
Right. I think that's one thing that gets lost in a lot of what we see in the high school athletes and the youth athletes and middle school is like how much it sticks with you. And
I think that's where we're, as a chain crew guys, being all alumni, I think that's why we're buried so deep into it.
Right.
Because the way, if you've played one game or you've played 10 games in a Yellow Jacket uniform, it's in you.
Right.
And your pride is watching the program progress, watching the success of the program. Because when you and I played, we didn't have 10-win seasons.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have undefeated seasons, but we played just as hard.
Right.
It was just the talent now has progressed so much compared to when we played.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like you said, kids are bigger, stronger, faster. And I would love to be young again and be able to be in the mix of that.
Right. And it's cool to see what this community, what football means, what all of the programs mean, because, football is the highlight, is the driver, but football is that regardless of where you are. That's not, football is king in the United States. Like, that's our sport, just like in Brazil it's soccer or
And smaller schools, it's baseball and basketball.
Right. And so seeing the progression, seeing the changes in the community, the support, our stadium, while it's not the stadium of other schools that we go to or compete with, it's still got that feel. It's still got that community. When you open up those gates on a Friday night and you see the folks pulling in and you see the reserve seating and you see the way it brings the community together and the cool things that happen because of football, it's unique. And the fact that you get to be down there, I can understand how it does kind of fit that need that you're looking for to a certain extent. Is that safe to say?
Yeah. And I challenge anyone that doesn't think that this community is supported to go to those things. Right. I've coached football, flag football. I coached baseball, 12U and under for years. I ran the concession stand for 2 years for the band when my daughter was in band. you don't see it in the caliber that you see it in football.
Mm-hmm.
But we have some really great people in our community that supports all programs.
Right. And I think that's what we've learned a lot too, is you see it in football because you can't not see it, honestly. But in the baseballs and cross country, this community and people like you, I mean, fans, they want to get behind it, they want to support it. Or you've seen tennis, people there, see baseball. I got to see in basketball this year. It was kind of cool. The same, like, you could tell where certain fans would sit during games, and they're not because they have a son or a daughter playing or a granddaughter or whatever. They're not a niece or a nephew or an uncle or an aunt. Like, they're just fans. And I feel like we see fandom from a NFL Chiefs standpoint, or I'm a huge Mizzou fan, but like, high school sports is a different level of fandom.
Yeah.
You
I mean,
think it's accurate?
when you look at a professional sport or college sport, colleges are kind of adults, but it's not the same. But a lot of times your hype of your fans, that's family. That's family loving their kids in whatever sport they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And they are there to give it their all. It's kind of like the crazy soccer mom that, even though her kid's the only one that did anything on that play, she's still screaming with everything.
Right.
But football, there's so many of them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a roar. It's not one parent in the crowd. It's a whole crowd standing up, not just screaming for one kid. They're screaming for a team.
So we know we're getting close. Like we talked about at the beginning, it's about a month away. What are you going to do? What's your plan between now and our first game's on the 29th, but it's at Webb City. So
yeah,
I
think our first home game's Monday the 2nd.
Right.
My deal is filling the crew.
Right.
I mean, we can play with 4, but we can't play with 3. And
right.
I've got one guy I'm talking to, and he's a pretty good friend. He's just got a lot going on,
right.
and that's the biggest problem with the chain crew and keeping people. It's a commitment.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like I said, we're there sometimes 2-3 nights a week. Sometimes the weather's terrible. I've went out of there with water splashing out of my shoes when I walked. But
sunburn, maybe
sunburn, dehydrated sometimes. But it's you just got to love the sport. You've got to, because with all the highs and the lows, it's still, at the end of the day, it's still a job.
Right.
We can't just go out there and not do what we're supposed to be doing and be jacking around, or, we're going to cause an entertainment spectrum of the football game. We're going to delay that just because of us not doing our job properly.
So anything folks could do to help you guys out? Is there anything you guys need? I know you mentioned you're potentially looking for sponsors, would love a sponsor for that digital.
Yeah.
Anything else? You guys? I
mean, we usually buy our own uniforms. I know before me years ago, they were provided by the school, but the Jacket Nation last year gave us all hats to wear on weeknights, but pretty much for our uniforms and stuff, that's all we pay for, and we buy it ourselves.
Right. Outlook on the season.
I don't think we're going to have an undefeated season, but I think when districts roll around, we're going to be ticking like we should. Coach Christian, Coach Summers, Coach Allen, Coach Pierce, them guys all seem to shine a diamond at the end at the right time. There's been times when we've stood over there on that sideline and think, well, this is going to be a rough season, and they show that it's not.
By the end of the season,
season, we're hitting on the right cylinders.
It's almost like they have a plan, It
is, and it's we have grown, and we have noticed that things, the way our offenses have changed over the years, and we hear a lot of, well, you should have done it this way, you should have done it that way, but it's hard to criticize those guys when you have seen where Lebanon football used to be as to where it is now.
Right.
It's not all, in our opinion, my opinion especially, it's not always the wins and losses. It's, the Tristan Wilsons, the Justin Britts, them guys have basically inherited father figures from them guys.
Mm-hmm.
And the biggest kickoff I can give you from Coach Christian is the biggest way he's changed the program is it went from a few individual players to a team sport.
Right.
And he's not, which is something we also see with other teams, he's not one of them coaches that's all about just playing football. He's about building men. He's not just about building the sport. He's building men. He's building a brotherhood, and he's building a family.
Right.
And that's kind of what we've adapted at the Chain Crew. We're brothers. We're not like when you asked me to do this, I wasn't going to do it without my guys because they're just as part of the decision making as I am.
Right. Well, I know I got a lot of respect for what you guys do and the ability to be as consistent but also professional. And I know I can speak for the programs or the program, Coach Christian and his guys, that they couldn't do it without you guys. And they know they got their biggest fans just across there doing their thing. I do have to ask you one question, though, because you brought it up. Offense changes, that sort of thing. From a strictly chain gang crew, would you rather do it during the triple option, the split wing, veer, or a spread formation?
Spread heads down.
Really?
Yes. You can do, I feel you can do more with the spread than you can, say, the wishbone.
Right. I know. I mean like running chains, like the amount of stuff that you have to do. Like, is it different? Is it harder to be on the chain gang with an offense that is throwing the ball all the time and up and down the field, or is it harder to do it?
It's only hard for one guy, and that's the box guy. Them chain guys, they're going to set up off the box anyway. I mean, it's, as far as what we do as a job, there's nothing hard about it.
Right. But it's fun, isn't it?
Oh, it's the best.
Which job do you prefer, or which one do you do?
We'll get there and discuss it, but I'm usually the fastest, so it depends on the night.
So you're the box
if it's
guy.
a running night, I'm going to be a box guy. If it's not, if it's a night that when we think, well, we'll go back and forth a little bit, one of them other guys may pick it up. But I basically take what's left because
Right.
I'm just happy to be there.
That's pretty cool. Well, I know
These guys, we'll bring a new guy in and we'll start him on a clip
What's clip?
where they go out to measure, you clip.
Okay.
So they don't measure from pole to pole anymore. They measure from
Okay.
clip to end of pole.
Clip to end of pole. Okay. I guess I don't really understand.
So when you line up your chains, 10-yard marker, you go to the first big line. If the ball's going east, you put it on the back side of that line.
Okay.
So when they call for a measurement, they will take that clip out to the ball, place it on the back side of that line, and stretch. They don't stretch the full length of the chain. They just
Okay,
stretch
yeah.
from the clip to the pole.
Okay, that makes sense now. I didn't think, because you used to be the
Pole
one
to
guy,
pole.
the one guy, at the end, and he kind of starts the whole process, and then you had the other guy that waited, and then sometimes you could see he'd pull it.
Yeah, and we don't even get to do the stretching anymore. We just trot it out there. We hand it to the officials. They measure, hand it. We come back.
Gotcha. Well, I sure appreciate you sitting down, kind of giving us a different perspective of what it's like to be over there, and it was cool to hear you say what it's like to see Jacket Nation or Jacket Stadium.
I encourage you guys to come over there and just before the national anthem one night, just see. It's something to just see. Just stand there and see the fans when them players come out on the field.
Well, we speaking of national anthem, we got something cooking for the national anthem for this year, and we're excited to make that happen. We're gonna have a few changes this year as well, but I think it's gonna be a really cool way to continue putting this atmosphere and leveling up the production of what we're doing. And I know we were really excited last year. We got to see you guys do. There was a very close play. I think we stopped them. I don't remember which game it was, but we were able to zoom in on a measurement and get that kind of NFL Network, ESPN kind of feel.
And that's one of the things. We do a lot of marking, but there's not a whole lot of times we go out to do any measuring.
All right. So it was cool because we even got that shot of the as close as our cameras would allow us to get tight and see that final little clip thing, and now it all makes sense because looking back in my head, understanding how they do that.
There'll be a short section of your chain that's just sitting there, and somebody holding the pole. It's not really. They measure from clip to pole.
Chain ever broke?
Oh yeah, yeah.
What happens there? How do you on the fly?
Well, there's keychains and stuff like that.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
So you guys are always ready.
We try to always be prepared.
You got a toolkit full of stuff.
That's what we need to get. Yeah. And there's been one time one of our poles got rolled over on and broke, and I spent one whole quarter leaned down on my knees holding the pole together. So there was a good thing there was 5 of us that night.
Gotcha. Well, we'll be sure to shout out you guys during broadcasts this year, and I appreciate you coming in and just kind of giving a different perspective. Again, it takes a crew on Friday nights from
all the way up to you guys down to us. Yeah.
And it's cool to see a little different side of it. So thank you very much. I appreciate you. And go Jackets.
Go Jackets.
Go Jackets.